Hello there, greetings and salutations one and all, and welcome to Saturday Night Reaver, without any Reavers as always. Um, we've got a smorgasbord of stuff to be doing, so we've still got the Krios Venators and the Krios tanks to paint. Also found my other teeny tiny warlord from the original 88 era, so that's always nice to get one of these up and going. Like always, I'm quickly trying to do everything at once. Spread the word. Yeah. Simples. And hey, Marius. Evening to you, sir. That's that and that, so that can't be bothered. All good. You alright, buddy? How you been? Right. Let's some of these off. Just trying to catch the last of the good weather and do some undercoat in the outside. Yeah. Well, I'll be doing that very shortly as myself, so hopefully I get that sorted. So this particular engine, I am feeling doing this in the Retro Mortis colours, which is basically black with red trim. So that should be nice and easy. Hey, Plastic Paintnik, good evening. I'm painting a flight of 5 Japanese A6M2 right now, and the Aleutian Island Zero operated by the USAF. Cool. I was actually catching up with my podcasts, and obviously one of them is We Have Ways with Al Murray and James Holland, and they've been doing the story of the Battle of Okinawa, and it's been fascinating. It's been like about 3 or 4 episodes they cover, and the sheer amount of heroics and basically bullshit in the propaganda war, where the Japanese were claiming, oh yeah, we've sunk at least like 1/3 of their entire carrier fleet, and it's like, no, you have not. But yeah, that's been really fascinating to listen to on my way to work and return. But yeah, it's there you are. I wondered where you got to. Blood Red Skies, if you're curious. Yeah, I remember you were saying doing some of them recently, and let's glue this. I always thought with Blood Red Skies as well, wasn't there another one? Oh, Crimson Skies. That's what I'm getting confused with, because I thought there was more of a like a steampunk-esque feel, but Crimson Skies is something completely different to Blood Red Skies. So putting the polycement on first to let it sort of start working away, to supple up the plastic before attaching it to the actual base. So yeah, so after the other day when we painted up the Warhound, I went looking through my drawers and I found the other Warlord that I had. So that one's going to be adding a chain fist. That's the laser, defense laser as they called it, melter cannon, and the auto cannon, because they're the only weapons I've left. That was put onto my Ignatum Titan, but it should have had this one, and I lost the Quake cannon, but I have since found it again, so all is right with the world. But I've got to repaint that into red to match with the actual thing, because all its weapons were red on the actual Titans, going by the old artwork anyway. It's a decent game, and the planes are stupidly easy to paint. 4 to 5 colours max. Yeah, it's very similar to obviously like the planes that I've done for Legions, but also for Armoured Clash. I actually was doing a little unboxing video before coming on this evening for the Messer Interceptor, which is the Imperium's aircraft. Going by the ones I've done before, the Messer has the most parts as of yet, which is basically 4 parts. It has the main body of the aircraft, then it has a separate tail section and 2 wings, and that's it. It's not like the Enlightened faction aircraft, the Scythe, because it's that's 2 parts, so it's the body and a little nose cone that you stick onto it. So yeah, and the other aircraft, which was the Britannia, I think, which is the Crown Spitfire or / Hurricane impersonator, that was only a couple of pieces as well. So yeah. Right. So that's letting that set in place there. I've been tempted by the Armoured Clash planes. They are really nice planes, to be fair. So that's the one for the Scepter. This is the Enlightened one, and then that's the Crown. I'm sure it's the Britannia. It might not be the Britannia, but yeah. So pretty straightforward. The Messer Interceptor looks like that. So yeah, very ME 209. or 109, sorry. Or mitts, because it has the swept forward wings. But yeah, they're a really nice little aircraft. Nice size, so you've got a little bit of detail, but you know, you can work with them at least. Defiance, that's it, cheers. Right, so let's get the basing material, because we need to put some basing material onto the base, because I'm doing them all the same basing techniques as I always do, because I'm a simple beast. Scoop that around. A few well-placed tactical rocks. I'm tempted to buy a Defiance Painters RAF 95. Yeah. But they do just hold the aesthetic really well. So it's sort of like a cross between a Hurricane with the boxy canopy, but with the rounded tips and the wings. It's very Spitfire-esque. The Titans are purely for decoration. It says so. It's just to have them as a little memento. That's why I got the extra, extra one. I bought the Warhound last weekend, so I can say that I had one. It's kind of rude not to, really. Right, so that's that taken care of. I've already given the spray a shake. So I'm just going to give that a quick blast with spray, so it won't be 2 sets. Perfect. Right, it's a quad brid aesthetic with a Spitfire, Hurricane, a Bolton Paul Defiant, and a Westland Lysander. Yeah, it's got so much. I would say they're not going to do a direct copy, but yeah. And how is everyone in chat? It's a valuable question. So I'm just going to pull up, he says, on right. Loading this up. Yeah, okay. Pretty straightforward. That's Hey Judge, how are you, buddy? I'm just looking up the Legio Mortis scheme from the original 8088. So that's the thing, I never really liked these little bits. Well, I was saying that I kind of have to go that on the roof along with that, because that doesn't have a nub for shoulder mounting. So it'd be like that. So the defense laser is actually the precursor of the volcano cannon that we all know and love. Are you working on anything tonight then, Judge? Will do. Armager Morax this week. Cool, cool, cool. It's always good to hear more knights, even the teeny tiny ones. Onto either a Warlord or 2 Warhounds plus plastic direwolf next. Well, that's like that's your weekend taken care of. What are you gonna do after that? Yes, indeed, and yes for AT, but LI is the game of the moment. Well, it is, yeah. There's a lot of love for AT, and there's a lot of love for LI. So those tiny tonks, that's what it is. Meltagun. Nice. Sweet. Perfect. I'm just going to look up quick. Another one going. I can't see jack shit. So, gonna have to try the old-fashioned way. can see it. Oh well. Let's try something else. Right, okay, might have to change the plan then. It was apparently the Lone Deathbringer, which is, this is the artwork where like Ignite. One Deathbringer warlord versus 3 Mortis warlords. The Deathbringer was the heaviest hitting of the variants that they brought out. So it's up against 3 lighter armed Mortis. So it's kind of balanced in some respects. But it definitely has what looks like from that angle but they did, whoever done the work on them they done their own armature, so whilst they do have you probably would say that it has 2 oopsie doodles. It probably had 2 plasma cannons. It was broken beforehand, so it was only super glue, but yeah. Put some super glue in this because that's not really staying put now, is it? Let that bit dry now, and just whilst I'm here, I'm also eBaying. Um, so I'm usually playing £10 per weapon. Or certain sellers are doing like 4 weapons for £10 with free postage. That's interesting. Because there's 2 types of plasma guns. Yes. Yes. I see now. That's what it. What was that for? Oh, okay. So that's that then. So what I've done, I've ordered another weapon pack, which will have one of these in there. So I might as well do it properly. I'll drill that out, which I'll do now. So I can actually mount, because it's definitely too little buggers. We're going to do it right, aren't we, people? work on that getting a bit wider. What I'm actually thinking of is maybe taking that off and sticking that on top of that. I reckon that would actually work with a little bit of jiggery pokery. There you go. Yeah, because that's actually a better level where it is like that. Than where it was. So that's what we're doing, people. We are customizing to replicate the original Deathbringer. So let's get back into the chat. Yeah, it's a bin. But I'm curious what modern weapons would be used to make older variants of Warlords and Reavers. Well, that's the thing, because they've never done the roof-mounted plasma blast gun, which was a thing for Reavers in particular. It was an option for 40k Reavers as well, but in this, I don't know why they didn't do it. Admittedly, it is a lethal weapon, as we all know from playing AT, that the plasma blast gun is particularly lethal. And maybe, I think in playtesting they just thought it was too godlike a weapon to have on mere mortals. Ben sneaking in there, you little sneaky sneak. Yeah, buddy. What are you up to tonight? Got D&D in a minute. I've been painting in the meantime. That's all cool. Thank you for dropping in. It's always a pleasure. Very nice. Thank you very much. I was going to put it in Fencho, but I can't get down to both days, so there's no point. Yeah. I won't go in anyway, but it was yeah, extending it to 2 days. But I don't know, wasn't it always 2 days, or is it just the paint competition on one day? Or they've expanded it and people not realised. I thought it was one day last year. Right, MPO is only one day. Salute one day. It's only like UK Games Expo, but that's more not really a paint competition, is it? Adepticon, but that's something completely different. Essen, which obviously will be getting Golden Demon this year. It was across 2 days, yeah, but they used to do standard on a Saturday, Masters Sunday. Now you've said minis Saturday, and if you want them entered, you have to pick them up at the end of Sunday. All right. Surely you could get Kendra to pick them up for you. So you could still enter, and then she just picks them up for you, takes them home, and looks after them until you visit next. Looking at the options for you, my buddy. I think that's the way a lot of these things are going. 2 days and having a paint competition. I don't know if because Griffin is next weekend, GriffCon. So I don't even know who's attending apart from Studio 7 because he's helped organising it. I don't know who else is going down there. Ollie kindly offered a lift and he's only able to get there Sunday too, so this month turned out to be unavoidably expensive. So even railcar train tickets wasn't feasible for me. Well, that sucks, but understandable. I even missed a local competition for the sake of a stag last weekend. Gone to. I think the universe is telling me not to bother with painting comps. Well, yeah, there's definitely signs there. It's yeah, it's not going too well for you, is it, mate? Tis a shame. Tis a shame indeed. Oh, pardon me. Alright, let's get some colour, he says, in a roundabout way. that image again. Now, after the salute and the legends of paint, my heart's not really in for comps. So I know I'm not the world's greatest painter, but I suppose where I've been lucky beforehand, you sort of inflate your ego a little bit. When you don't know what, especially like say like Legends of Pain, apparently there was particular things they wanted to see which nobody knew of beforehand. So I think the problem is like with Legends of Pain, it's not a competition. There's no winner as such. It's a sort of a thing that you go in and hopefully like people go, hey, this is pretty cool, you know, we like this is good. But it was judged like it was a proper painting competition, and they're expecting to see like no non-metallic metals and all this sort of other stuff involved. So obviously I don't do non-metallic metals. It's like it's taken away from. I go for a more realistic approach with my painting. I want it to look more authentic, and non-metallic metals isn't authentic. So that's sort of going against me. Yeah, I guess I got swept up with the company we keep a little bit. Mini-wise, I don't want to play with grey models, no. Definitely not. And I want what I do paint to look good. After that, I don't know, a pin commendation seems nice to have. Well, that's the thing. It's like, and the whole thing with my ongoing farce with Salute about what category do you enter a Titan? Because, you know, up to 54mm scale for a sci-fi model, and yet people are putting in like dreadnoughts. That's bigger than 54mm scale in height, or they're actually talking about scale, as in like 1/144 scale, or 1/32, you know, that sort of thing. What is it? And I asked them, and they said, oh no, it's actually height. Okay, but on the day somebody says, oh no, that would have gone in, because they had the little bit of paper. Oh no, that's fine to go in there, but they were doing it wrong. So there's no real thing, like consistency. You know, and the people who are helping out, they're helping out. You know, they're helping to get that event running, but it wasn't. You know, when I spoke to them, they said, "Oh no, you could put that into sci-fi." And it was after the fact. Well, I've had to put it into like miscellaneous. You know, admittedly last year in miscellaneous, I did get a commendation for it, which was, you know, awesome. I made the cut, sort of thing. Um, yeah, better say a dreadnought is 28mm scale anyway. That's it. You know, it's like get some fucking consistency. Is it scale of model or is it height, actual physical height and breadth and depth? You know, because it feels like for the last few years I've constantly been penalised for entering the models that I'm entering. You know, having to go up against dioramas, and dioramas on their own are fucking awesome. You know, how is like a single model? Oh, you've got to put it to diorama. And he's like, but it's not a diorama. It's a sci-fi unit based upon the rules that you know, I put in a mana pool with a War Master support because I wanted to get overkill with the Titans. But they put it into diorama, and I thought, well, what's the point? What is the actual fucking point? And then from then on, it was put into the other thing, miscellaneous. So, is what it is. Not a lot I can do. It's all a bit of poo. Blah 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 blah. Beep 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 beep. straightforward. Camouflage on. That's gold. Right. So that's going to be interesting to do. Trying to figure out okay. Are we? So much trim. Got to run, but I'll leave the stream lurking. Oh, thank you very much, dude. Much appreciated. You know, got to crank those numbers up. Have a good game. Don't kill anyone. Well, unless they deserve it. Nice. He says. Anti-Gizmo. Greetings and salutations to you, my friend. How are you? What are you up to? So at the moment, we're working upon a Legio Mortis engine. I know. Who'd have thunk that thought that I would do Legio Mortis? But I've done Ignatum. So it's only fair, really, to do their mortal enemies in old style. I'm not doing them in new style. And I've also ordered some new weapons for them as well. So it's all go. I do love the carapace on them. The beetlebacks, yeah, they have a certain je ne sais quoi. And like they did with the War Master, you could use this as a basis for like a scale 11 Titan, you know? Saying. Would be nice. Right, let's. Whilst I'm figuring out how to do their camouflage scheme, because it's a bit different on this. I saw, I see when Brian posted up about Helldivers coming to Xbox. I've already pre-ordered it. So we're ready to bring some freedom, some super freedom, and ultra democracy. SOTBS, who was just on here. He's a big Helldivers player. Just trying to figure out, because I said their scheme. Just going to see if I do actually have it on a better picture. Let's see if I can just tidy this fucking thing up. So this is what I've got to try and replicate on the carapace. It's like a pizzazz lolly. It's green, orange, all sorts, blue, or very pale blue. Right, it's not that orange. This is going to be interesting. good for some game nights. Yeah, well, as I say, it's I've wanted to play it, but my my PC is not up to spec. So now it's coming onto Xbox. That will make it a lot easier to actually get involved and help out, delivering freedom to those that want it and who don't realise that they want it. Unconditionally giving it away to everyone, whether they want it or not. They may not be aware that they want it. That's what I was trying to get to. I did just notice that obviously the carapace between this and the one in the picture that I'm trying to replicate is different. There was a lot more variance in Titans back then. So it's probably one of the early ones that wasn't really put out into the general public, or it could have been something that they'd doctored themselves to make it look different to the ones that got released. Turbo Shaker. Definitely mixing it up a bit. nuts. Alright. That's going to be dangerous. It's going to go everywhere. So the carapace on this is absolutely different to the one that I'm looking at on screen. So it doesn't have these front sections here, more to the back. So it's even shaped differently. So this must have been like the earlier metal Titans that they used to have before they went to the plastic ones. Poop shaker. Wizard is never late. It arrives exactly when they mean to. Alright, Kenneth, are you ready? I don't think that's going to work. How are you this evening, dude? I'm pretty good. That's good to hear. It's always good to hear that everyone is pretty good. Another paint pot. Cheers to you all. Baba. Where's the other one gone? Where'd I put it? A bit of Agrax on water. Going well. Cheers. Time that bottle opening somehow. It's good to hear. The hobby fuel is good. We're going to do the rim on the base whilst waiting for everything else to dry off. That's not a bad black. contemplating whether or not to try and do the death's head symbol. So it's a basically blue triangle with a red border with a skull in between. Pardon me. For those who missed out earlier on, I ordered myself some more weapons. There's a hairdryer just riding past the back there. Got a lot of hairdryers around here, unfortunately. Some kind of mating ritual. See, that's the thing. They weren't called Mortis, they were Death's Heads. And the original scheme, which was black and red with red trim, was given to the Murder Lords because that's what the original scheme was basically black with red trim. So technically, it's not Mortis because these are known as Death's Heads. Loophole, exactly. We aren't scared of loopholes here. And plus, in the early doors, the original AT stuff, there was only literally the front cover, which was Mortis and Death's Heads versus Firewolves. You get so used to saying Mortis. So it's the loopiest of loopholes. So once the, oh god, he's back again. The little, like, oh, I'm on a hairdryer. You heard it, yeah. Going around his little two-stroke monstrosity. Oops, sorry. Sounds like my Vortex Vortex mixer. So these two I've had for years. I would say probably around about nine years, about 2016-ish. The hobby group that I was sort of like organised and running on Facebook called Games and Theory. A group of us were talking about the old Adeptus Titanicus and Epic, and we sort of thought, oh, let's do it. Let's like build like an army for it, sort of thing. So a friend of mine at the time basically sorted us out the two warlords, and I'd ordered some Space Marine, like Marines, like it was a little sort off eBay basically. So you had like some Land Raiders, Rhinos, a couple of Land Speeders in there. I think it might be a couple of bikes as well, and then obviously Marines on the sprues. And I was going to do them as Imperial Fists, because I thought I'm going to do a legion that was at Terra, which was Imperial Fists. So I've done that, and we started hearing whispers about the possibility of Adeptus Titanicus returning. So that kind of put pause on everything. And then once we got sort of confirmation that yes, Adeptus Titanicus was coming back, and they just went to the sideline. So that has been, sorry, this one has been sitting there in its all blue plastic look. Also, whoever, well, they started painting bits of yellow on it, but obviously I've painted that tonight with its little Death's Head scheme so far. This I painted initially a few years ago. I think it was during COVID time, so sometime between 2020 and 2022, I think. So I painted it and I did a different colour carapace, and then I realised it wasn't. I think I painted it more like that sort of carapace, but it was actually more just like black and yellow when I saw some better pictures. So I changed that over. I think he's missing the thumb. Let's have a look. Let's have a look on my thing. Yeah, it's missing part of his thumb. Where is that? That wasn't long ago, only 2 to 3 top. Well, yeah, that they've been painted. Obviously, I've had them for about 9 years. Oh, look who's back again. I'm just adding some Drakenhof Nightshade in a watered down sort of like glaze over the black, because it does have that sort of petrol look to it. I've used leaf blowers that sound better. At least we know it doesn't take long to get around the local park. They're only going the near bit. There's like a cricket ground out there and more. So shall we say must be about 200 to 300 meters square, that bit. There is another bit that leads off to some like woodland and all that, and there's a football pitch with a little like local football team resides with their facilities and car park and wooded areas. So yes. me. Thank you, Kenneth. Much appreciated, sir. Hello there, Anton. How are you, buddy? You all good? Having a good weekend so far? Look at the hairdryer out. Yes, the hairdryer. Yeah, I'm just packing everything for the trip, so no time for cafe. Ah, that's a shame. But obviously, things had to be done. Just wondering. Actually, having them as a not having them as a southpaw, like our friend here, that's kind of alright. Oh, Hedgerows coming back. Brace yourself, people. Yeah. Yes. Just thinking, I could imagine the old style warlords being such, and such being the in-universe art for them as bas reliefs, similar to real life but stylized. I'd say that I don't see them not. You know, they could bring them out as, you know, the other Titans. You've got the Warlord, but then you could have these as, like, because they all had the different names like Equinox, Deathbringer, um, Night Gaunt, sort of thing, and they were meant to be, and they were done as variants, but they were meant to be individual Titans. And from the old artwork, we've had the War Master brought to life, the Warbringer Nemesis, because Nemesis was a Titan, the Nemesis class, which they've sort of kind of done away with, because obviously there was, you know, the Nemesis class was basically a Titan would get the nomenclature of Nemesis added if they were a specific Titan with an higher class weapon on them. So, like, the whole thing about like the Warbringer Nemesis is that it has a Warlord cannon on, you know, volcano cannon or Quake cannon on the roof. So it's a lighter chassis, but with a heavier chassis main gun. And Nemesis basically being the added bit to them, because obviously you got like, you know, Warhound, Reaver. There's no, like, you know, you could have like Reaver Nemesis. But yeah, it seems like, I don't know. Well, we wish they'd sort of sort it out. Sort it out, will you? I won't be joining you for some time. We'll be in China with the West family. Oh, well. How long are you away for? From the 8th to the 1st. Oh, well, practically for the month. Gundam hands. Well, I hope you have a wonderful time whilst you're out there. So that's the thing. Warlord does have Reaver class weaponry. It has the Gatling blasters on the roof, las blasters, which are Reaver class, on the roof, turbo lasers on the roof, and yet, you know, because you've got turbo lasers as well on Reavers. It's only the Apocalypse launchers and the Vulcans array, which aren't Reaver class. Although I think Reavers should have Vulcans. But they have Reaver class on the top rack. Right, this is a risky move, people. Oh, sorry. Well, okay. So spinning it around that way. They have most of their stuff because with the swarmer missiles, it's basically, it should have been like light apox So the Warhound had its own APOD launcher, but they're now Swarmer and Shudder missiles or rockets. All the other weapons, so they don't have a las blaster, but they have a turbo laser because it's a Warhound class weapon. Warhounds have their own versions of Volkites and grav weapons and conversion beamers, I think. It has its own conversion beamer. Because I've been talking about warlords, so now you've got me hanging again. Hold on a second. Right. I don't think there is a weapon that Reavers like. Their volcano cannon is lesser, and basically that's what a direwolf is. A direwolf is a heavily armed. It's a Warhound nemesis because it's got a higher grade weapon on the roof. Because it can have volcano cannon on there, it can have the Natrix shock doodah, whatever it is, and conversion beamer. But it can only have the Vulcans, and I don't get that. Why their Vulcans are less than normal Vulcans? Should just had them with, you know, normal Vulcans. That's it. See, even the War Master Titan has Warhound class weapons on it. Yeah. So basically, the carapace on the original, like before, between AT editions. So when Forge World were doing the Reaver Titan, you used to be able to have it with a plasma blast gun on the carapace, Vulcan Mega Bolter on the carapace, Inferno gun on the carapace. So basically, the lesser class would go onto the carapace mount because it's easier more manoeuvrable to turn and stuff like that. Whereas its main weapons were always underslung on the arm mounts. So that's where they had it, but they sort of retconned it and did that. At War Master level, they're pretty much defense guns. Well, they still have their own defense weapons, the Ariok defense lasers and stuff, and bolters. They also have the rocket pods or las guns in the knees as well. So obviously, like light anti-tank in comparison. But yeah, you can on your shoulder mounts. You can have Inferno guns. You can have melters, which they've only just brought into Warhounds. The plasmas. It's weird. It's weird. They should look at things and go, okay, I think Reavers should have carapace plasma blast guns. I'm a big fan, but they haven't. They've got no plasma weaponry on Reavers. Not allowed to have it. But Warlords can. Warbringers definitely can. And Warhounds can. But why not Warbringers? And why not Reavers? Or Direwolves? They should all have their own, you know, versions. Or you say you just have where you step up. So Warhound is a carapace weapon for a Reaver. Reaver weapons is a carapace weapon for a Warlord. Yeah, it makes more sense that way. You know, obviously Warbringer is just having it, you say, like a defense gun in the air. You know, turbo lasers in there and all that sort of shit. But they don't. Yeah, they don't. They just don't. It's all a bit monkey. Sorry, I've just been distracted on Facebook. Beyond the Brick, Omega class destroyer from Babylon 5 out of Lego. How cool is that? I'm liking that. Agamemnon. Yeah. I'm going to let that rest. I think that's going to be me for tonight. I'll leave those to glue and stuff. But yeah, we've done pretty good. I'm sorry, but the camera just pissed me off. It looks alright. But I can't do much more until they dry out anyway, and I need other models, other parts that I've just ordered. So, yes, that will do. That will do, pig. That'll do. I'll see you all again on Wednesday night. Yeah, definitely about Wednesday. I hope you all have a great rest of the weekend, whatever you may up to, and yeah, look after yourselves, and I will see you again in a few days' time. So till then, peace. Thanks, people. Good night.